All right, so good afternoon, programmers. Welcome to this session. So for today, we're gonna be discussing. We're going to conclude all the topics for this course, no, computer programming 2 using Java language. All right. Although I mean, in terms of programming, no, uh, really, if we talk about programming, uh, even in most cases, like if you guys want to learn more, different programming or various programming languages, the idea of two-dimensional arrays or multi-dimensional arrays are actually quite left behind, or shall I say underrated. So what I'm trying to say or elaborate is that it is not actually giving much attention to. Okay, so maybe because of the complexity of its structure, like because the array alone, no, itself is like a little bit difficult to understand. How much more if you're like going uh, to go further, like two-dimensional array or multi-dimensional array. Well, yes, programming every programming has that, no. Uh, Usually we use two-dimensional arrays or multi-dimensional arrays in some algorithms, or in some cases in our programming, uh, particularly in doing mga vectors and game concepts. But most often than not, there are actually dynamic arrays that we can use instead of that. Okay, so thanks God, because you admitted that you are going to need a discussion on two-dimensional, particularly two-dimensional arrays. So I'm gonna be discussing that one to you before I will discuss dynamic arrays. Okay, so when we talk about multi-dimensional arrays, of course, multi-dimensional. So it means you have two or more indices anymore. Like, of course, now if we say your normal array or the traditional array, it only has one index. Okay, but in terms of multi-dimensional array, you're gonna be having a more than two or more indices. So most probably you will have like this, as like that, no, if you want to do array structural modifications using 2D, so you're actually going to declare two indices or two brackets. If you're going to manipulate or do array structural modifications using 3D, so you're gonna be having like this. So let's say I'm going to declare 2D array, so let's say R 2D. Okay, so this is an example of array, two-dimensional array. Yan. So, right. Okay, so let's say I have here 3 and I have here 4. Sorry, I have here 4. So the usual way in declaring array, of course, array 1D, no? uh, you have something like this. Sorry, you int, and then shall we say this is like 12. Okay, so this would mean that the array or the length of our array is 12. No? So the index are 0 to 11. Okay, so it means that the size or the length of our array could have been, or could be up to 12 values. So meaning it can store up to 12 values. Now, how about this one? So it means to say that you are declaring two-dimensional array with indices 3 and 4, and where the 3 stands for your row, or your, let's shall we say our yeah, our row, no, or our x, and our 4 stands for this is for column. So this would means that this is going to create a matrix out of these two out of these two indices. So with this, you just have to multiply the two size or the two length, which are 3 and 4, which makes it 12 also. So this would mean that it is also going to have 12, okay, 12 size. But it does not have something like an index which will have uh, up to 11. So in this sense, iba ang structure niya. So what would this mean, sir? This means that if I have declared that this arrays, no, I mean this array to like 3 and 4, this would create indices like 0, okay, and then 0. So this can have, this could be the first value or like the first index in the sequence of elements. So another thing is, okay, wait for a while. So this could have, or this could have, this could be like 1, and then 2, and then this is like 3. I know because it's we only have, for our column, and then we are going to copy this one, okay, and then since the column is like it means that the first index 3 is up to 0 to 3, 0 to 2, okay, and then the second index would be up to 0 to 3, okay, which is in this case you have here, this is the first index, which is this is your row, and then this will be your second index for row, which is which is this one is 1, this one is 1, this one is 1, and then therefore this would be your second value, okay, probably this is your third, and this is your fourth, and so on and so forth. So obviously this will be your fifth, okay. So yeah, all you just need to do is, since this is 3 by 4, this would means that we are going to this matrix that we are going to create based on this arrays will be uh, times 3. No? So times 3 siya, meaning it is fold 3 times. So this would be 2, 2, 2, and 2. So as you can notice, the first index is, which is this row 3. This is like 0 to 2. So 0, 1, 2. Because it's the size, it's actually 3. And the size of our second index is 4. It's 0 to 3. So that means we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3 for every, okay, for every index or incrementation of index, first index, which is 3. So disregard these things, basta this is like your sixth value, and so on and so forth. So I'm gonna be erasing this one. So n value, yeah, up to, if you're going to compute this one or multiply, or I mean count the value, or this our array, this one, this will be 4. 4, 4, and 4, and that is 4 times 3. It means we have 12 size of our 12 size storage for this array. Yeah, before I'll proceed, any question? Do you have any questions so far? Hello?
None so far, sir.
Okay, so is it clear? Klaro naman?
Yes,
Okay.
sir. So, ang column, sir, no, kay mag-duplicate-duplicate siya na range 0 to 3.
Mm-mm. So this, if in matrix nato ni, this would create like this na matrix. No, kung mahimo ni siyang table, this will create uh, this value. So 0, tapos 0, 1, 2, 3, and then you have z as, so this is like your 0, 1, 2. So inani yang mahimo na value element. So 0, 1, 2, 3, then 0, 1, 2. So pasabot ani if na kay mga elements like 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 4, and then 8 and 9. So this would means that saan man ako niya mag-asa to kung tab. Wait lang ha, kay mo-transfer ko sa Pikas. Para mas masabtan ninyo. So, Teams. Okay. So, kung saan akong tab na ko ha. Wait for a while. Okay, just wait for a while. Kaya nag-hang up man eh. Yan. Can you guys see it? Makita ninyo, dili. Ala, wala di ay. Happen. Dili makita. Wait lang ha, di magmugana niya akong tab sa Mac OS na ko. So I'll need to transfer to my PC. Kaya po. Anyway, while waiting, so going back to this program right here, now as you can see, yan hapit na. So you have here, this will create this matrix or table in your, as you are going to, I mean, the way you are going to present your data would be in this manner. If you're going to use the 2D array of 3 by 4 indices. So this means that 23 will be your first value. So that is 0, 0. And 2 will be 0, 1, 0, 2 will be 4, and 0, 3 will be 5, and then we'll have 1, 0 will be 4, 1, 1 will be 5, 1, 2 will be 6, so 1, 3 will be 7, and all the rest are 4, 2, 0, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, and yeah, respectively. So I don't know what happened. Ano ni? We ran into a problem. Mhm. So please bear with me. Medyo nag-ano lang akong PC. Okay, kasi maglisod kog ano dire kung magamit ko og I can actually use the whiteboard, this one. However, maglisod kog sulat. Aya. So I find it difficult to write kasi the best way to understand multidimensional array is you should have seen the way it is constructed or the way it is represented in a concept na manner rather than we jump into program diretso. So I'll try to make this one fast. So medyo nagdugay siya. Wait ha. But if this will not work, so I guess diretso na lang ko sa program. What happened? What happened? Word, tara. Dugay po maka-share screen. Oy. So dugay siya mag-share screen. I don't know what happened. It seems like I don't know. Anong dugay ni siya nag-share? Huh? Ay, ayun. Oh, karon pa siya nag-ano, load whiteboard. So this may take for quite some time, but at least I can explain it in the best possibly I can, no? Or in the best possible I can. So it's right there. Supposed to be dapat ana. We're having trouble connecting. So ayaw na lang. Wait.
Sir, nag-share na ka, sir?
Pero yeah, no, we're having trouble connecting. Stay on this page to keep trying or return to your meeting and come back later. Status code is 1021. Authenticating cancel. So nag-error siya. I don't know what seems to be the problem. It's maybe because yan, try again. Something went wrong. So wala tayo mahimo. Wait ha. So, what will I do? Sa program na lang, diretso. What nga no ni? Anyway, while waiting, kung mo response ni siyang tarong, ambot ani sa problema ni. Wait. Sige, so while waiting for this, no, ako kanina balik na ko sa laptop. Butang saningga akong PC. So going back, can you guys see my screen sa ang Eclipse? Una na. Makita? Wala.
Wala, sir.
Sir.
Waray upay. Ang sa nanoon eh. Pag-ampo sa mudra. When it rains, it pours. Mungod ko naligo, God. Mga anin awan, anin na ni ron. Haha.
Required maligo, sir.
Para fresh. Para fresh po ang laptop o ang PC. No, nakisabay sila sa kalimuot sa lawas siguro. Alimuot mong dagway, God. Wala mo nagapaligo. Wala mo nagaligo.
Wala na, sir.
Oy, sana all humot gihapon bisaway ligo. Amoy baby.
Wala may musimot, sir.
So kung may mo simot din na po. Ay na lang. Ana na lang. What if na ay kalitrag mo simhot? Di at least ready. Murag ka to kung
Ako lang sa sila, sir. Basin di ay.
murag classmate na ako dati na while waiting na siya. Actually na. Murag classmate na ako dati na pangutana na mo ano si magagpagwapa ka. Wala may event. Eskwela lang man ka magpagwapa pa jud. Ay kanang the way she present herself is really kanang everyday para sa iya is OOTD kanang nanagani, no? Fashionista, pa-sexy,
Activity time, sir.
ha? Make unsa daw?
Ang Microsoft Office.
What do you mean? Sa daw?
Ang Word.
Sa daw? Ala ako sabot.
I mean, activated ba na, sir? Kang dili siya mag-expire ang Microsoft Word.
Dili ma-expire akong Microsoft Word.
Opo.
What do you mean activity di ma-expire? Wala ko sabot.
Nag-license, sir. Kana.
Ay kani kuan account na mo sa Malayan bali naa siya'y subscription. So gi-sign in ako sa akong Office 365 man ni. So wala na mo may KMS, pwede man mo ka atong KMS Pro mga inato, activator, di ba daghan man na. Anyway, sige. So let me start. So example, say tan-awon bitaw na sir ha kung nang putol nun to akong gi-share sa inyo ha. To yung akong barkada na ingon siya na aging ipangutanan mo sige magpagwapa nga wala may normal lang man, normal day lang man like lang ba normal day inana god sa klase or inana kailangan maka-dress jud siya, naka-get up inana. So yang tubag is wala lang gusto na ako gwapa ko tagakan pa lang ko glubi niya matay ko niya pangit kay ko tan-awon. So may man gwapa ko matay nga na siya. So no, di ba malay mo sa inyo hapon. Tama ba siya? Girls?
Sir, everyday we feel beautiful naman, sir. Depende na sa ilahang perspective, sir.
Wow.
We are just simple person, sir. We just embrace ourselves as who we are. Ano lang, sir?
Charot. Okay, sige. It's up to you. Lahi man yang perspective in life, no? Lahi man yang perception. So mao man yung perception. So ito na siyang so mao po na inyong perception. So be it. So now, di ba sa array kay in-ani man sa array, no? So linear siya. Okay, so pag mayroong tag index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, so let's say this is index num5 for our array of int type. So if you guys have values like 5, 3, 8, 10, 11, so you will access it through an index base using only one index. So pag multi-dimensional array or let's say 2D array, let's say ganina nag-discuss ta about or ang declaration sa tong array would be 3D ay ngitag drawings yung maestro bisan pang unsa kagwapong technique pero pangit gihapon drawing. Actually bati jud ko mag drawing. Pasensya na. So atong pagamihan. So balik ta. So let's say I have here 3 and then 4. So again, this will create a 3 by 4 matrix. So the 3 by 4 matrix says that I have 3 rows. Okay. So create 3 rows. This row stands for the first row is 0. The first one is 1. The first row is 0. The second row is 1. While the third row is 2. So to represent this one kani no, to represent kani. Yan. So mo na 3. And then so since 4 man ato ang second index, it represents naman this one. Okay? So we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4. So i-erase na lang ako ng the rest kay na-erase na po noon tanan. Sumpay da ito. O basta disregard the last one. Ayan. So this will have 0, 1, 2, 3 to represent naman 4 columns. So therefore, if I will say I have here 8, 1, 5, 6, 7, 3, 4, 8, or 18, 20, 15, 12, 4, I have already 4, so 42. So this would means that the intersection between 0 and 0 is 8. So therefore, index 0 and 0 would have 4. Would have 8. Yan. Okay? So this means that if I'm gonna access this 4, value 4, this will have index 0, index 1, row 2. So therefore, if I will say index 1, row 2, row 1, column 2 would have 4. So ana siya. So ana lang, no? Intersection between 0 and 1 is 1, 0 and 2 is 5, 0 and 3 is 6, 1 and 0 is 7, 1 and 1 is 3, 1 and 2 is 4, 1 and 3 is 18, 2 and 0 is 20, 2 and 1 is 15, 2 and 2 is 12, 2 and 3 is 42. Well, I'm not saying that in your program this is what it is really going, but this will also something like ganito pa rin siya, no? Linear pa rin siya, only that the way that I can describe it in the best na representation is through this index, through this matrix. So that is how 2D array works. Okay, so do you follow? Nakuha ninyo?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's go back.
Sir.
Okay, do you have questions? Wala.
Sir, unsaon ang pag for loop sa, for example, sir, kanang column, I mean, index like sa 0 lang siya, sir.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Whoa, what do you mean?
Inaano na ako, sige na.
At
Internalize ko akong
sige,
question.
sige. Hindi ba nalipog ko sa imong question?
Kanang i-fordook bitaw nimo siya, sir. Pero usually magud sir, makita magud nako is ang mag-for-loop sila sir is like for example by row sir, by column and row. For example lang sir, sa akong end naalang ko'y 2D array na like 1 and for example num 1 and 3. So paano na ko na siya ano sir na i-for loop sir? Para for example makuha na ko ang sum ng both row and column sir.
Ako naminaw. Anyway, sige. I will cater your question later, but I'm gonna be discussing this one first. Okay, so allow me to discuss this one first. So with this, as you can see, what happened to int num? Why it's not accepting int num? Ano nawaton eh. So local variation, okay. I don't have to because I already have initialized this one. So if this is the way you like, this would mean that I have 3 by 4. So same as to like this. So I have 3 by 4. So if I'm going to add some more, then this will become 3 by 5. Okay? So this will become 3 by 5 and more. So para mas masabtan, the only way, the best way na ato na siyang ibutang is inanion na to siya. Okay? So kung nakita nyo na nalapaw lang ang 6, it's because of its sum of its values are actually 2 digits. Siya lang ang wala. The rest po sa first row and second row. So this is having a 3 by 5. No? So this kani siya na array is a 3 by 5. 3 by 5. So this means you have up to 15 elements. Okay? Which is equivalent kung himo na ko na as 15 ning array 1D in one-dimensional array. But since we are implementing it in a 2D array, the setup, the representation will be different as it is like this. So now, if I'm going to, let's say, I want to access the this 7 right here. So it would have been 0, 1. So the row is 1 and the column is 1. So I should have here num1 and num1. Okay? So this is of course 7. So meaning the value of that is 7. So this one is 6. So this is 2, row 2 and column 4. So column 4 and row 2. So in order for me to access the value of 6. Now, I don't know if this is what you are trying to convey, that if I'm going to read all of these values right here using loops, okay, so this is like end of 4, which is usually outer. So we're gonna be using nested loops here. Now the outer and the inner loop. So most probably, let's say this is the R to represent the row starts with 0, and then R we'll have here num dot length. By the way, if you are going to, para masabtan niyo, first is let's understand muna the size, the length of the array, especially pag 2-day siya. So sys o. So let's have here num dot length, and then let's have here let's say num0 dot length. Okay, so if I'm going to run this one, I have here the 3 and the 5. So it means that in my array num, I have these elements, therefore my row is like 3, because it's very obvious that we have here 3 now, as it is depicting the representation of how arrays in 2D are arranged, or array elements in 2D are arranged. So 3. And then if I have here num0, I have it means that you are actually getting the length of your column. So, meaning to say, for every index 0, I have five column. If I will make this as 1, so meaning, kanina po siya, I have another 5 column. So if I have 2, I have another 5 columns. So either or 0, 1, or 2, as long as it is not index out of bounds, because ang index out of bounds na siya because we only have 0, 1, 2, wala na tayo 3. So that means we get the value of column, no, column size. So therefore, if I'm going to use that one, now, proceed tayo with this one. So I would put here num0 dot length and then C. So the R stands for row and then the C stands for column. So now, I'm going to be displaying the values. So let's say I want to display all the elements of that array, let's say initialize to num. So I will be using num R and C. Okay, so I'm going to display it using this delimiter, no, with space. So what happened? Wait, R and C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, okay, because I use here C. So dapat R instead of C. So I have here 3, 5, 3, something like that. So all the elements of our arrays in that, no? So sa tuang num. If again it's displayed in a linear manner. I mean, ato sa tanggalon ha, because so these are the elements of our array rather in num, which is a 2D array. So it's still displayed in a linear manner, the same. However, we can actually do it in a way na naka-matrix po siya. So it depends on how do we do that. So based on this, pwede nato siya i-display na the same as true sa pagka-display diri. So we do this one. So first i-read niya ang 3, 4, 1, 2, 5, which is kana siya. And then after it displays 3, 4, 1, 2, 5, it will proceed then to the next row, which is after it proceeds to the next row, nasa siya system that out that print line, and then so on and so forth. So allow me to explain it in a for mas masabta ninyo. Wait. So, ayan. But let me, so ayan, nana siya ay 3, 4, 1, 2, 5, 5, 7, 6, 8, 5, 10, 12, 3, 45, and 6, which is the same elements that you see here. Only that I just displayed it in that way para mas masabtan. So 3 is 0, 0, 4 is 0, 1, 1 is 0, 2, 2 is 0, 3, and then 5 is 0, 4. So, ang idea na is that this one is since this one is your outer loop. So when this is 0, your inner loop, which is your column, will start again by 0, which is as it was declared here. So when it is 0, therefore it accesses R and C, so 0 and 0. So 0 and 0 is like, di ba, as I've said, 3. Okay? So therefore, kwaon niya ang 3, i-display niya ang 3. Then after that, it will go back to the inner loop. So it's not going to head to for loop. It's because inner loop is not yet done. So it's not yet done. It has to read muna the inner loop. Therefore, from 0, it becomes 1. Kasi mag-true pa man na siya. Dara, mag-true man na siya dire. So until it is true, until this loop is true, dire pa na siya padulong. So therefore, mahimo na siyang 1. So 0 and 1. So 4 i-display. Tapos mag-2 na po na siya, 0 and 2, 1 ang i-display. Sunod 0 and 3, 2 ang i-display. So, 3 na ni, and then mahimo na ni siyang 4. So, 0 and 4, which is ang R ni mo, always 0 muna siya. 0 and 4, i-display niya ang 5. Now, mag-abot niya og 5. Okay? So, di ba ang length na ato ang, is, I've told you is 5. So, C, which is 5, less than 5, that is actually false. So, pag maabot og 5 ang value sa C, it becomes false. Therefore, mubalik siya diri, I read niya ning print line and then go back to R. So, R now will increment by 1. So, saka pa mo increment by 1 si R pag mahuman na si C. So, karon kay 1 man ni, true man ni, therefore, balik na po siya diri sa inner loop which is a C. So, ibalik na po niya ni grid 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Tapos, every time iterate siya from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, notice that 1 na ito ang R. So, 1 and 0 will be 5 na. So, 1 and 1 will be 7. 1 and 2 will be 6. 1 and 3 will be 8. 1 and 4 will be 5. So, ayan. Capture na po na niyang 5, 7, 6, and 8. Display niya dere. And then, the C will now go to, or increment by 1, it becomes 5. So, mag-false na po siya. Exit siya sa for loop na inner, and then ano siya dire, and then balik na po siya dito sa outer loop. So the outer loop now becomes 2. Okay? So when it becomes 2, it's still true. Therefore, balik na po siya dito sa inner loop ni mo na C. So mag-start na mo na siya balik 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So false siya by 5. Pero while it is actually reading 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, i-display po niya ang 2, 0, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, which are 10, 12, 23, 45, and 6. So pag false na siya, tap na, dire, and then balik siya sa for loop sa gawas or sa outer loop. Pag abot niya 3, so notice that ang, remember that ang value ni num.length is 3. So 3 is less than 3 is actually false. So therefore, it's false. So when it is false, the entire loop will now become false. So leaving the our program to display these things. Yan. So ana siya. Okay, question.
Sir,
Like-
pwede mag-request, sir.
Yes.
Sir, pwede ibalik nimo tong dati, sir, kung unsaon na mo pag-store ang array sa text file. Ang data, sir, nasa text file, then i-store na mo sa array. Pag naka 2D. Sige, algo ato, sir.
What do you mean? Unsa? Kung gusto lang niyo ang 2D array i-store na ko sa text file?
Ay, yes, sir, tong concert, tong mga details, sir, nasa text file, then i-store na mo sa array. Halimbawa kani, sir, kaning sa num, kaning data niya, sir, kay nasa text file, then i-store na mo sa array, sir. Baunsaw na mo pag-store para ma-access na mo siya.
Ano gud tayo discussion ana?
Na gani, sir.
Hindi inyo lang to i-review.
Na kuan, sir, medyo nalimot.
So this one, this does not need anymore 2D array or what. Kani siya kaya ra ni ma-solve og 1D array. I mean, because we are just going to put this in an array, right? Tama?
Yes, sir.
Oh, so kani siya, it's up to you kung mag 2D array ka or you're going to use 1D array. So i-read na to siya using 1D array. So maghimo sa tag isa ka program. So of course, our text file is num.txt. It contains these elements. So you will need to do scanner, no? So let's say scanner read is equal to new scanner. Yan. You can also use other, no, writer, other reader. So stream reader or whatsoever na mga reader, but I usually use file writer and file reader para kasi partner sila and it's easier. So I have here nam.text. So I'll just have to put here throws exception, or you can actually use try and catch. It's up to you. So if I'm going to read those which are in num.text, all I just need to do is, let's say I have here array. So let's say num, and I'm going to read those elements there. So let's say I have new int 100. Sorry, 100. So let's say I will have an allowance of 100. So assuming na ako na siyang i-dawaton. But again, we have only, this is 4 times 4. We have 6, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 20. So 20 elements to be read. So let's have here while. So while read that has next. And if I'm going to store those records all the way down from text files, all I just need to do is I will have here is equal to read that next int. So if I'm going to read it as an integer, because that is the way I declare number is actually integer, so I'll just have to do that. Then I will declare here first is index 0. So this would mean that I will have to increment by the I by plus, so that it will increment from 0 to the element, now which is this one. Okay, so most probably this will starts with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 up to 19. So index 19 ang masudlan. So the rest 20 index up to 99 will not be stored by any value, only from 0 to 19, because kani siya ang counting ani is from 0 to 19 lang pod. Okay, so now I let's say we are going to display if we are able to actually store those records, no, kung na-store ba sa array. So let's say I have here for loop. So I'm gonna be using for each. So for, let's say, int val up to num, but this will actually display including mga values na null. So dili na lang ko mag for each loop. So I will be having any other ano na lang. Let's say a is equal to 0. Anticipate na ako ang possible value manggod ato result. So instead I will use that one. So mag-base ko sa pila value sa akong I, pila ang counting sa akong I. So I'll have here a plus plus. So let's say I want to display those values if na-store ba siya jud. So if this is successful, then therefore this should work. So num, let's say a. So let's run the program. So there, 1, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10. So if you guys want to, 1, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 2, 5, 8, 9, 4, 5, 6, 10, 13. Check na to. So yan, 4, 5, 6, 13. So of course, if you guys want to like you want it na maging ganito ang display, you can have intervene logical statements in there, like you can have something like a counter probably, or if it's divisible by 4. So if a modulus to 4 is equal to 0, so that means 0, then sunod is 4, then sunod 16, and sunod 2019 ba, try na to. So, you will use print lang, not print line. This is optional lang ha, if you guys want to, I mean, ang imong question lang man is i-display, ibutang sa array, but ako ang iano dre is magbutang ko na, what if i-display na ko siya in a way na unsa siya pagka-display dire. So of course I can always do like that no in my program. So print, is it a modulus to 4 equals to 0. I'll have the counter na lang, dili ko sure ano. So val or flag na lang is equal to z, this is like 0. So this is like flag plus. And then so baliktad. Every time mag-0 siya, dapat natin akong print line. Wait ha. Or murag i-complicate na nako noon ang output. Pero sige lang. If so when it is 0, next 0, 1, 2, 3, so 0, 1 na lang ni. 1. This is 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So since 1, if it's not equal to 1, wait. Tama ba ko? So if it's equal to 1, okay, 0 na lang ako na. 0. So if it's 0, dili siya mo display dire. Otherwise, tama. This will becomes tama ba ko? If not 0, ang flag will be, wait, first is 0. Okay, and then insert niya the solution 3, that's true. That means flag plus 1. So dili mo display ang wait, mali lagi akong logic. Wait ha. So gusto na ko i-display, supposed to be kani siya. So 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So next is 0, 1. Okay. Gotcha. So pwede na to atong gihimo ganina. If a modulus to 4 is equal to 0, yan, parang ganon. Para di na mag-flag, yan. So lisod-lisod na akong sarili. Para di na siya mo-flag, para diretso na siya in ani. So yeah, that's it. It looks like 2D array, but you can actually do it without even without implementing 2D arrays. So kani ako gibuhat lang dire is that if I just want it na i-display the way unsa siya pagka-display dire. Now, para mas dali imong pag-read ana, of course, if this is like different data kani lahi na data, of course you will have to have a separate array for that, no? Probably mag-ano kag array na int a1 so or sige val na lang sige a1 is equal to new int, let's say This is 100. So A2, A3, A4. Yan. So, and then A5. So this one naman will be reading values from there. So, lahi-lahion mo per column. So, in that sense, malahi na ni siya. So, this would be something like ganito na. So, this is like a num, no, not num, but A1, A1, yan. And then, this is A2, A3, and then A4. And then also we have A5. If you want to separate the reading, so kani ang counting nani would be 0 to pila man ni siya? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So kaupat na siya. So 0, sorry. Mali ako natuan. So this would be 0 to 4. So why is that? Because you every time i-read daw niya, next is i-read niya kalima ang next i-read niya kalima ang numbers next into a separate arrays na A1 to A3 to A1, 2, 3, 4. Anong balik ng isa? A5 ng isa. If that is the way you read your values, if gusto kay nana nimo pagbasa sa value. Pero kung gusto ka na as isa lang ka array, you can actually use this one. But of course, if like these elements right there are like instead of in ana ang nakabutang diri kay ano na katong 101 ana male 23 or let's say Davao City or Davao and then single something like that. So this should be pwede nimo ni siya i-read mo siya as a string, okay, para variants ang imuhang array. So dili lang siya like i-read niya as numeric. Himo lang man ni siyang numeric pag imo siyang i-next in. Pero pag next lang siya, ma-read niya siya nimo siya as string tanan. Now, if you want to like calculate the value of 101 or any numerical value, then you can actually parse it into an integer value, something like that. So if this is in a way na mao ni ang sulod sa imong text file, better na kay reading ani of per array per column. So inana siya. Okay? Yes, did I answer your question or mas na ano noon?
Yes, sir, mas nadungagan, sir. Salamat, sir.
Okay, so nakuha yun, sure? Nakuha?
Yes, sir. I-review na lang po namin, sir.
Okay, sige. So balik ta sa dito sa
Sir, ma-read ba na mo na siya, sir, as to the array ang text file, sir?
oo, pwede.
Like how, sir? Example ng text file na gihatag nimo, sir.
Example sa
For example, sir, i-read na mo siya as to the array, sir, kanang example na text file na imuhang hatag gyapon, sir.
Okay. So if that is the case, this one is okay. If you will read this as a 2D array, again, you might have a purpose. So, okay, sige. So, but there's no need na basahon nimo ni siya as 2D array depende sa imong purpose. So, let's say i-read nato na siya as a 2D array. So, let's say we have one. This is 4 by 5. So, dapat 4 by 5 na ato ang ano. So, we are going to out this one. So 4 by 5. So let's say we have int num sorry is equal to new int 4 by 5. Okay, so let's have here. Okay, so this might be a really complicated na way or ano, because again, you will have to do a kailangan nimo ni siya maano na this will increment by 0 up to 3, and this one will increment by 0 up to 4. Okay, so mo na ang medyo tricky na part there is sa kanya tong buhaton. So yeah, honestly, I haven't tried this one reading in a text file, reading it from text file to two-dimensional array, because when I do it, I usually do dynamic arrays. If it's not something like 1D array, I use dynamic arrays, which is katong i-discuss na ko later on. So with this, I have to declare two indices here. So R and then C. Yan. So with this, you'll have to just have a two loops. So int, pwede na wala, no? So let's have R less than to the num dot length. Okay, so we have na R plus plus and then let's have another loop here, for column. So this would be 0 dot length, and this is C++. Okay, so now we're going to read now the R to, let's say, R and C is equal to read that next. Yan. So end of for inner loop. This is end of outer loop. This is end of while. So yeah, I guess this one is okay. No, I'll need to repeat C to 0. So nanadere. Or something like i-ano na nako si R dire para dili mo malibog. Okay, so I have R and C there. Then let's display it. Taon na to kung na-read ba siya. So the para makuha na to na siya or makita na to na it's actually read. So we'll just have to do R and C and then okay. So let's run. There. Yan. Nakuha. So ana lang po
Sir,
siya.
salamat, sir.
Sure. So,
Sir?
di ba mas complicated siya kung 2D kaysa sa 1D lang. Sa 1D, inani lang. Yeah, naay question. Unsa may question?
Sir, kanang inana, sir. Unsa po'y algo pag i-manipulate mo na, sir? Pag
What do you mean? Na manipulate?
ang element niya, sir, unsay pag-declare namo, sir, para ma-manipulate namo sila.
Like?
I-try na mo kuan, sir, no, kanang kuha sa mga sum nila by row or column. Unsa dapat ang declaration ana, sir?
Kay nana siya sa activity.
Wala
Tama?
pa check, sir. Brag na.
Ano na nga, sir.
Kay nasa activity. Oh. Ang gibuhat nato na sa C++ last time, di ba? Tama ba ko? Did we?
Pero lahi sila ano, sir, murag mas tricky siguro si Java, sir.
Namong sa text file, sir.
pag mabutang na nimo siya, depende sa imo kung diretso ka text file without array or pwede siya diretso text file without array, pwede siya array sa sulod nimo array and then text file. Actually, there are many different ways. So, pwede na i-read na ko siya through di na nako ikuan na kay the way I remember it kay gihatag na ko na siya as activity. So, yan. Example, kwaon na ko ang kaya kwaon na kanilang kwaon na ko ang sum ani nila dire every row ana no. So daghan mo pamaagi na pwede kani ay sorry pwede pina inani i-read niyo siya per array per row, okay, and that is how you do it kani. Kaya lang, syempre, if you don't know how much or how many values are there in the text files, medyo that technique is not good anymore. So, how come it is makuha niya na, sir? Makuha na niya kay pwede nimo ni i-loop. Pag after ani, makuha na nimo siya, first row, which is kanimo, ni capture niya tanan 1, 4, 6, 8, 9. And then kanina pong 2, and capture na po niya kaning 10, 2, blah, blah, blah. So, tama ba ko? 1, 4, 1. Tama. 1 or baliktad. Okay, then after which, i-sum din ako. Himo kog loop na sum. I-loop na ko ni, na sum na ko tanan A1, A2. Sum na ko tanan A1, then sum po na ko tanan A2, A3, A4. Pero, pwede na without using array. If that is the case, na i-sum lang nimo per row. So, easiest way would be like this one. Sum is equal to 0. So, probably na lang kay trigger dire na katong trigger na flag or something like pwede na to i-apply itong akong gibuhat dire na kani. No? So, kaon na to ni ha. And then, butan ako siya dire. So, since 0 to 4 to siya, so I'll have here, let's say, A is equal to 0. So, if sige, if mahimo siya, if divisible, balik ko sa instead of i-print line ako, balik ko sa sum into 0. And then, ang A nako would be, tama na na. Okay, so right after that, kung ako sum plus equals to read that next int. And then, sige, display na ko ang sum. Tanaw na to kung tama ba. So, i-read sa nako. Basahon sa nako ha. So, 0, A0. So, sum is 0. Sum plus read that next int. Okay, ang A nakuha nag-increment. So, A++. Okay, so 1. So, delete. So, therefore, read that next line, read that next line, read that next line. Display na ko si sum. Okay. Dili siya pwede. Wait. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Divisible by 4, no? So, divisible by 4. So, 4, 16, 4, 8, 16, ug 20. So, tama ang kondisyon diri. However, dapat every time mag-divisible by 4 siya, dapat ma-reset ang value ni sum by 0. But before nato siya i-reset, dapat i-display sa nato siya. So, parang ganon, parang ana. Okay. And now, sige. So, wait, check na to. Ay, wala i-print line. Print. ln. Okay, so nalay 0 per kay kasi first run sa sum is 0. So 19, check daw na to kung 19. So 9 pila ni? Or lapas no? This is 10,
28, sir.
28. 28. So mali ato ang algo. Wait. Or i-array na lang nato ni para dali, pero wait lang. Without using array, this could be done like so first i-read na ko So I am going to read first is let's say so 0 kay mag true. Okay, kay 0 is 4 to 0 modulus to 4 is actually 0 true. So therefore print niya ang sum by 0. So mo to 0. And then sum is 0. Balik siya sa sum is 0. Now, with here, i-read niya first value which is 1. Okay? So, 1 ang value sa sum. And then a++, balik siya 1. This a will become 1 from 0. So, modulus to 4 false. So, 1 plus 4. So, 1 plus 4. Okay? And then A kani siya gikan sa 1 mahimong 2. So mahimo siyang 2, false gihapon siya dire. So false to siya. Basta 1 and 2 false. Therefore ani siya dire 1 plus 4 plus 6 plus 6. Plus 6. Then this will become 3. So false gihapon siya. And then next read niya is 8. So this is 8. So this will become 4. Okay. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So kulang siya. So kaya pila to siya? 19. So this is 19 kulang og isa ka reading kani. Kulang ana. So mao nang 19 ra to ang result. So yeah, that's the reason behind. So therefore dapat tanan na nato ni by let's say kung nag-array so 1 na lang ni siya. This is like 5 is equal to 0. So kulang isa. Sum plus 6 plus 8 plus dapat moabot siya 9. So kulang lang na pagbasa og 9. Wait. Ay okay. Try na ko. Kuan ako isa diri. Sum read plus equals to sum plus equals to read that next in. Okay, and then murag masobra ni da. Wait lang. So 28 third tama ba? 28. Tapos kani 10 plus 2
Tama, sir. 36.
tama pero ang last na pod niya na kani
Wala
niya
na.
wala na basa.
Wala basa, sir.
Wala na basa kay ang next int na mong nimo mura siya kaduha nagtawag og next int gina-skip niya ang mga next values so it's not safe pero this could have a better di lang nako makuha sa karon but it's something like that no it's kasi under pressure ko sa karon like under pressure kay naamang good mo pero this could be solved in a way na mas pwede ra kani. So actually I once tried it before. So pwede ra kayo. Sabi. Dali raman ni. Anong di nako makuha. Pero nakuha na siya, kulang lang siya og katong last part. Anyway, so if i-array na yun nato siya, so kung sa array, same way, basahon lang nimo siya with the same in ani, and then mura na gyapon siya ginani. Kani siya. So or sa 2D array siya best na ma-solve. Pwede. Pwede kaning 2D array atong gamiton.
2D daw, sir.
2D array. Actually, pwede sa 2D array.
Algorithm na daw, sir.
Libong algo niya, sir.
There is a 2D array, mas dali. Int sum is equal to 0. So, kay naa naman siya sa, na-read naman nato siya, sum, dito naka sum plus equals to num r tapos c. Ana. And then, if gusto ka i-display nimo siya print lang. Print, then sum plus \n \t daw. Dara. Pero i-reset na to si Sam. Sorry, wala na ako na-reset. Ana. Mas dali siya kung 2D. Ayan. So, 1 plus 4 plus 6 plus 8 plus 9, 28. 10 plus 2 plus 5 plus 8 plus 9, 34. 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5, 23. 23 na siya. 4 plus 5, 9 plus 6, 14. 15 plus 10, 25, 28. So, 28. So, don't ask me na isolve ni siyang padulong dire, padulong dire, padulong dire, padulong dire, kay murag mauna dyan na ang inyong, murag mauna ako ang activity.
Say murag, sir.
Ha? Mao ba na? Mao na ako activity?
Salamat daan, sir.
Oy, mao jud di ay. So, nakuha na kani.
Sir,
Pero ang
salamat.
pang-column na lang. Ang dire na lang yung kulang.
Yes, sir. Kana na lang, sir.
Sus na algo ana nadali oy baliktaron. Ara mo'y baliktaron dire dapit na part. Baliktaron ra ninyo. Okay? Oo. So, yan, that's it. Kung unsa pa man